From above the Ohio River, a great look at downtown Cincinnati. It's the first of a day-night doubleheader here at Great American Ballpark, the Cubs and the Reds. And we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Jim DeShays, Len Casper. This is the makeup of a rainout on April the 28th. 9-3 the Reds, the final last night. JD, the Cubs have lost 3 in a row. They're getting a lot of opportunities offensively, not cashing in. Chris Coghlan, 4 hits last night. Anthony Rizzo hit a homer.
Yeah, Coghlan much improved here over the last 10 days or so on the road trip, hitting .458. Scored 8 runs, OPS up over 1,000. Anthony Rizzo against the Reds, has been solid this year, .367. He's not had a lot of luck in this ballpark. However, last night he did go deep.
And he has a chance at the All-Star game. More on that a little bit later. The Reds have had the Cubs number for quite a while. Billy Hamilton hasn't played against the Cubs a whole lot, but this year's done a lot of damage.
Yeah, an igniter. He started the game last night with a walk, came around and scored, then drove in 3 runs with a bases-clearing triple. His numbers against the Cubs, 9 games, a .350 average with a .381 on-base percentage.
Reds playing good baseball, 4 games over 500 right now, but they just put Joey Votto on the DL, and a former Cincinnati Red will go for the Cubs today. More on the starting pitchers when we return. Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Ford, manufacturers of America's best-selling brand. Check out our best-selling lineup at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Now today's pitching matchup for Game 1. Travis Wood returns to the place where he got his big league career started. Needs to throw some more strikes, though, right now.
Yeah, he needs to bring his A game today because he's up against Johnny Cueto, and he's not had that A game of late. You take a look at his last 2 starts. Both no decisions, 10 in the 3rd innings. He's walked 9 in those 2 ball games. Really struggled last time out against the Red Sox. Gave up 7 hits, 4 walks in 3 2/3. And Johnny Cueto, frankly, has been really, really good. First in the league in innings pitched, first in opponent batting average, second in ERA, second in strikeouts. He is a real bona fide ace.
Yes, and an all-star, the biggest surprise, it's the first time he's made an all-star game. Well, last night, Anthony Rizzo tried to keep the game close, got the Cubs within 1, but the Reds busted it wide open late. Big 3-run triple by Billy Hamilton. Game 2 of this series, and Game 1 of the double dip is next. Full high definition on WGN TV is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Well, Anthony Rizzo among 5 candidates for the final spot on the National League All-Star team. He's trying to join his teammate Starlin Castro. And right now he's trailing Justin Morneau of the Rockies. But you can get him in. You can vote. You text N4 to 89269. You can also go to Cubs.com. Message and data rates may apply, and the final vote ends on Thursday at 3 p.m. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. We may deal with some rain a little bit later. That would not be ideal. We did have a 21-minute delay last night. Game 2 is under the lights this evening. And yeah, let's play 2. Cubs trying to change their luck. They've played 2 day-nighters already and swept in both at New York against the Yankees and at home against the Nationals, and they have another one at St. Louis later on this season. So the Cubs lineup brought to you by Mazda in the 2014 Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. Chris Coughlin tied his career best with 4 hits last night. Ryan Sweeney in center. Rizzo homered. He's second in the league in home runs. Castro, a 3-time All-Star. Valbuena's at third. Sherholtz in right. It's John Baker behind the plate batting 7th. Darwin Barney at second hitting 8th. And Travis Wood, the former Red, batting 9th.
Reds defensively have committed just 36 errors this year. That's the fewest in all of Major League Baseball. Today it's Heisey, Hamilton, and Bruce in the outfield. Votto on the DL. So they tried Bruce at first base last night. I get the sense that Brian Price feels like he got away with a little something. Today Todd Frazier slides over there from third base, making his 7th start at first. Santiago Cozart cover third and short. Boy, they're really strong up the middle. Cozart, Phillips, Hamilton, Mesoraco through the middle of the diamond. Very, very good. And Johnny Cueto, one of the best in the business, 8-6 with a 1.99 ERA through 18 starts. Fastball that'll top out at 96, sit comfortably at 93. Good changeup, cutter, slider, curveball. Very unpredictable, too. He'll throw any pitch in any count. You can't really sit fastball on Cueto, whether he's ahead, behind, or even in the count.
Mike Winters, the crew chief, will work the plate for game 1, and he can enjoy a nice dinner in Cincinnati. He will not work game 2. Basner, Wegner, Malinsky on the bases. So Johnny Cueto gets us started with strike 1, fastball at the knees. Comes back quickly. That'll be a fair ball picked up by Mesoraco. 2 pitches and 1 out.
So Cueto, a strikeout pitcher. He has struck out 26% of the batters he has faced this year. That's well above league average. As you see, that OPS against 509 is sterling. His whip of .87 is the best in the league. Walk rate is below league average. So any way you slice it up, this guy's been really, really good.
Yeah, only Adam Wainwright has better ERA. It's amazing. I was talking to some guys in the Cubs clubhouse that they said it's his first All-Star game. I had to do a double take as well. He has been overlooked.
Yeah, I think last year he fought through some injuries, didn't pitch that much, only made 11 starts last year. 2012, he was a 19-game winner. Finished 4th in the league in the Cy Young voting that season, so you'd figure that would have been an all-star year for him.
He is scheduled to pitch on Sunday, which would pretty much knock him out of pitching in the All-Star game. The new CBA allows pitchers who start on Sunday to appear in the All-Star game, but they can only pitch an inning. Most organizations frown upon guys pitching at all. And 2 days after a start. And I've heard some people say they should have the All-Star game on Wednesday for that reason. That would be a throw day for guys who pitch on Sunday. The 3-2 to Sweeney is fouled, and no play for Mesoraco. The thing about Cueto, too, JD, is that he wasn't always this good. First 3 years in the big leagues, he had a 4.27 ERA over 92 starts. Swing and a miss, strike 3. But since 2011, under 250 over his last 86 starts. So when he figured it out, he figured it out.
Yeah, it's not atypical for a guy to struggle when he first comes into the league and try to sort things out. We're seeing a great example of it with Jake Arrieta.
Anthony Rizzo again on that final man vote. Right now in second in the balloting behind Justin Morneau. Justin Upton is third. Anthony Rendon fourth. Casey McGee fifth. Chris Sale leading the American League vote currently. Here's the 0-2 swing and a miss. Cueto, a quick 1-2-3 start. Reds coming up against Travis Wood. Lineup, they're 8-0-1 in series against the Cubs, Brewers, and Pirates, but winless in 3 versus St. Louis. Hamilton, Frazier, and Phillips at the top. Bruce back in his comfortable position in right. Mesoraco, Heisey, Ramon Santiago at third with Frazier playing first. Cozart at short, and Cueto, the pitcher, batting ninth.
Cubs in the field here for game 1 of this doubleheader. Coughlin, Sweeney, Shearholtz left, center, right. Around the horn will go Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo. Cubs really playing good defensively of late. John Baker is behind the plate, and Travis Wood on the mound. It's been an up and down year for him. 7-6 record with a 4.62 ERA, significantly higher than what he did last year. Batting average against is up. Walk rate is up. He is 1-4 in his career against the Reds, but he has pitched well, a 3.52 ERA against them.
Sent from Cincinnati to the Cubs in December of 2011. And ball 1 on the switch hitting Billy Hamilton. Career high 4 knocked in last night. A
little deeper look at Travis Wood here in 2014. Now, walks plus hits per innings pitched well up over what he did last year. He's not getting as many fly balls as he did last season, and he's one of the more extreme fly ball pitchers in baseball. Strikeout rate below league average, but actually a little higher than what he did last year. And his walk rate, that's been an issue, especially of late, as we talked about in the open.
Like Cueto, he likes to work fast. It's 3-1. We mentioned Hamilton last night walked to lead off the game. Hadn't walked in, what, about 3 weeks before that. That's kind of the final piece for Hamilton as he bunts, and he's going to make it. I mean, with the speed he possesses, with just a little keener eye at the plate, he could become one of the best leadoff guys in baseball.
Yeah, two things if you're looking for improvement for Hamilton: walk rate and ground ball rate. You know, he hits the ball on the ground right around league average, and I'm sure the Reds would prefer to see him hit it on the ground more frequently and use that speed. But that's an idea of what the weapon he is. 3-1 there, a hitter's count. He's not really swung it that well from the right side of the plate, so it's just a good understanding of his game, pushing that button, and even with the athleticism of Travis Wood, a very difficult play to make. And if you're Rizzo, you're kind of caught in between. If you go get that ball, do we even have a fighting chance of flipping the ball to Travis covering?
In the dirt on All-Star Todd Frazier. They've got 4 of them. 3 are in the lineup. Frazier, Mesoraco, Cueto. Aroldis Chapman also will represent the National League. The Reds wondering if Alfredo Simon might make it as well for one of those pitchers who can't pitch in the game. And Hamilton will get second without a throw from Baker. He got a huge jump off of Travis Wood. That's his 36th steal.
7 for 7 base stealers are with Travis Wood on the mound. They normally don't try. Last year they hardly ever tried at all. The Cubs have had a difficult time throwing out base runners. And yeah, watch this jump by Hamilton. He's just going on first move, and that first move might have been a deep breath from Travis because he got a great jump.
Here's a 2-0 now to Frazier. It's in there for a strike. Bounce to Valbuena. That'll keep Hamilton at second. 1 away.
It's interesting the numbers don't support it, but with the the way the managers are picking their teams for the All-Star game now, you can make a case for taking Hamilton. You're taking specialty relievers, you're taking utility type guys. Well, if you needed to steal a base late in the game to win a ball game, there's your guy.
Yeah, the paradigm kind of subtly shifting in terms of what the All-Star game is about. Is it just about who had the best first half or about who helps you win? And you're right. Who wouldn't want Billy Hamilton on a 34-man roster? Well, if Brian Price were the manager, he'd probably take him because he knows how.
Yeah, Joey Votto in spring training said, I think Billy Hamilton could be an MVP this year. Just sensing the impact that he would bring to the ball club. That, obviously a bit of a reach, but he does make things happen. When Barney's standing on second base, I don't know that I've ever seen that. The second baseman holding a base runner like a first baseman would. Before the previous pitch, Darwin was actually, his right foot was at the corner of the base.
Phillips 0 for 3, a sac fly, a walk and a run last night. He did not play at Wrigley Field in these two teams' last series against one another because of a bruised right heel. This morning, Joey Votto was put on the disabled list for the second time this year with the quad injury. And JD, it sounds like they don't expect him to be at 100% for the rest of the year with that left leg issue.
Right, and it's going to be really interesting to watch the second half, how much he plays, and how does Walt Jocketty react to that? Do they go out and find a bat, either a first baseman or just somebody else that can provide a little production in this lineup? Reds in the midst of this race in the NL Central, primarily because of their starting pitching. They have not been a good offensive club this year.
Two and two on Phillips. Bruce on deck. We're in the first. Phillips requests time. Yeah, we pointed it out last night. The Reds have 4 All-Stars and none of them named Phillips, Bruce, or Votto, which is kind of amazing.
Right. So if you had a healthy Votto and you had Bruce and Phillips doing what they normally do, then you would expect them to score a ton of runs in the second half.
Hope the other way in the right. Hamilton around third, and Sherholtz deciding not to even throw it, as Hamilton scored easily. 1-0 Cincinnati. Boy, it looked like Phillips tried to guide that ball to the right side, didn't it?
Yeah, and he had a pitch that he could do it with, out away from him a little bit. So change up off the plate. And no chance to get the speedy Hamilton.
I have to say, just watching Hamilton run, as Jay Bruce crushes one. Another one off a lefty. Third straight game with a home run off a southpaw, and it's 3-0 Reds.
Six of his 10 home runs this year have come off left-handed pitching. It's kind of weird in that a lot of left-handed hitters hang in there and hit for a decent average against lefties, but the power is suppressed. Bruce is just the opposite. He doesn't hit for much average against left-handed pitching, but a high percentage of his hits against southpaws do this. They leave the yard.
Snapped an 0 for 26 on Sunday with a game-winning blast late against Will Smith. He homered off James Russell last night and early today against his former teammate. And just like that, it's 3-0. Swing and a miss by Devin Mesoraco.
Big uphill battle now for the Cubs with Johnny Cueto working with a 3-run lead.
Roll over grounder to Valbuena. Close, but he got him. 2 away.
.428 feet on the Jay Bruce home run.
His 50th off a lefty over the last 5 years.
And that's only the second home run by a left-handed batter off of Travis Wood this year.
Chris Heisey getting the start in left. He's made starts at all 3 outfield spots, mostly in left. It's been an eventful week for Jay Bruce. He had to switch to first base last night, back in right today, and he's homered in both games. Ball 4. We would love to have you tweet us your Cubs selfies to hashtag WGN Cubs. It takes 2. We're going to play 2 today. Santiago switch batter. Takes ball 1. Yeah, so watching Hamilton run the bases, you know how sometimes you get the question, if you could do something or be somebody for a day, who would you want to be? It would be fun to be able to dunk like some NBA stars or do whatever. I'd like to just once run like Billy Hamilton to feel what it would be like to go that fast.
Yeah. Like your feet are barely touching the ground.
Man.
Well, you should go to Fantasy Island. Probably make that happen.
Yeah. Is it still up and running?
Somewhere.
Ooh, tattoo.
That was a loud foul ball.
Yes, it was. Deposited out into right center. Heisey to third, where he'll be held.
Some pitchers really struggle early. That has not been the case for Travis Wood this year. A couple of games, but not overall. But he would love a do-over here this afternoon. Seven first-inning runs total in his first 17 starts.
Ball one on Zach Cozart. Bunt single by Hamilton to start it. Two batters later, Phillips knocked him in. Bruce hit a two-run homer. And now a two-out rally started by the walk to Heisey, the Santiago single, and Cozart in a 2-0 count. And all of a sudden, Johnny Cueto is on deck in the first inning. I don't have to tell you how rare it is to get a bunch of runs against Cueto, but Wood will get out of it. Gave up 3 and trails early.
Brought to you by Xfinity. This happened last night. Broken bat. Watch the play by Castro. Deep in the hole. Falling backwards. Unloads. Rizzo goes Gumby with the stretch. Originally called safe. They took a second look. Frazier ruled out. Pretty play by Castro and Rizzo to get Frazier. Xfinity, you're home for the most live sports.
7 bats were broken in the making of that highlight package. Strike called on Starlin Castro. 3-0 Reds.
And as always is the case, the guy who makes the Xfinity replay the night before gets to lead off the inning.
And he grounds to Zach Cozart for the first out. And we'll bring up Valbuena. 30 pitches for Travis Wood in the first, and it goes without saying in a doubleheader you need some length out of your game 1 starter.
Yeah, especially when the game 1 starter is your kind of proven commodity, and your game 2 starters fresh up from AAA making his major league debut.
Now, Tsuyoshi Wada, 33-year-old left-hander, will make his big league debut against David Holmberg of the Reds, making just his second major league start. Strike called, 0-2.
Yeah, that one major league start. Wada, Beeler, and Hendricks, who will follow Wada. First time Cubs have had 3 consecutive starters. That limited work.
Buena flies out. You remember Pierce Smith and Crudale, right?
Yeah.
Cardinals in 0-2.
Back in
I remember
02.
Travis Smith.
I remember Bud Smith pitching a no-hitter for the Cardinals.
I remember Lonnie Smith.
Remember Lonnie Anderson. She's from right here in Cincinnati. She's working at a local radio station.
More news and Les Nessman. All right. So we're an inning and a half in. We've already dropped Fantasy Island and WKRP references on our audience. A little slip by Hamilton, but he'll make the catch. Cueto has faced 6 and retired all of them. 3-0 Reds. By Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, but we move over to the other team's dugout because Joey Votto, arguably their best offensive player, goes to the DL for the second time this year with a strained left quad. Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, helping you move better. So you could live better. Visit IBJI.com.
The numbers way down for Votto because of the injury. 255 batting average. He's still drawing his walks. But the slugging numbers way off, and that goes back to a knee injury he sustained in 2012. Hard to drive the ball if you don't have that good solid base underneath you.
Cueto just kind of standing there, making it up. Took a strike now. I think he's
ready.
97 in his career. Cubs won the first 4 on this trip. They have dropped the last 3. And you can vote multiple times. Go to Cubs.com to vote for Anthony Rizzo. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
He's sneaking up on one there.
Here's Hamilton. He has been the igniter. He has gotten on to start the first inning in each game of this series and has scored both times as well. And he's going to get on again. That's a fair ball. On his way to second. A 1-out double.
You don't take your eyes off him when he's running the bases. I thought he would push for third there with 1 out. It'd be rare to see a triple into the left field corner, but he's a guy that could pull it off. It's like a cutter that didn't get in on him. Settles for 2, at least temporarily. He may have designs on swiping third base now. So Barney really shading towards second base. Frazier looked like he was trying to exploit that hole on the right side.
There he goes toward third. The throw there, late. He's got 2 today.
He gets to full speed so quickly, so explosive.
Infield in now. So Hamilton with 37 steals. D. Gordon leads baseball with 42. Jose Altuve has 39 for the Astros. Nobody else has more than 26. 2-2 on Frazier.
Talk about the line of protection. Something that I feel like is really overrated. But how about the value of hitting behind Hamilton with the pressure he puts on the pitcher and the RBI opportunities he provides when he's on base?
We had Votto there in that 2 spot for a while earlier. Seemed to work well as Frazier strikes out. 2 in the inning for Travis Wood. By the way, you know how many steals the Cubs have as a team?
Not a lot.
37.
Yeah. They haven't been particularly efficient either.
And Hamilton has just tied the Cubs with his 37th.
It's greed right there on the part of Frazier. But Hamilton on third base, doing everything he can to put the ball in play to pick up that RBI.
Sounded like Phillips had something caught in his throat.
Maybe a little powder from a donut this morning.
Little high 1-1.
Coming to the ballpark now in a day game. Every clubhouse, a chef in there making omelets, eggs cooked to order, all kinds of fruit and salads. Back in the day, it was a couple of boxes of donuts and a pot of coffee.
Bruce hit a 2-run homer in the first inning after Phillips had knocked in a run. Here it is, 3-1. Reds starting the day 46-42. They're in fourth place in a pretty stacked division. 5 games back of the Brewers. They're 2 behind Washington for the second wild card spot, but trailing the Cardinals and Pirates as well in that race. Sherholtz coming over. He's got it, and the inning is over. Hamilton stranded at third. 3-zip Reds after 2. .100 moment, a scary one back in July of 1987. Andre Dawson, who would go on to win the MVP that year, got beamed by Padres right-hander Eric Schau. Benches would clear. Rick Sutcliffe getting into it, being held off by John Kruk.
How about that?
It's like Zonk's in
the middle
too.
there. That's a big surprise.
And when Hawk gets up, he's looking for the pitcher.
Yeah, it took a while to gather himself, and then he breaks out of the scrum. Got the will to fight. TWTF.
That Wrigley 100 moment brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwestairlines.com.
He's not sharing.
DWTF.
He's not sharing.
I like it. One and one to John Baker.
Hawk was like one of those professional wrestlers, kind of down on the mat, laying in the weeds, waiting for his moment to break clear of the scrum.
Cueto's 2-1 off the plate inside 3-1. That was a cutter. Two-seamer that was up 3-2. Looks like it would be hard to repeat his mechanics, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got that little pirouette he does, but
change up outside, ball 4, and the Cubs have a base runner.
Here again tomorrow, and then Thursday, then home for a weekend set against the Atlanta Braves. Go to WrigleyField100.com. We're celebrating the 60s. Food, music, festivities, everything to mirror that decade. Wear your flower power to the ballpark. Cubs.com for tickets. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday day games with the Braves, and then the All-Star break. Gary Pressey probably working on his 60s playlist right now.
Little spiral staircase. The Seekers, maybe?
Maybe.
Little Georgie girl.
Well, you can go all over the place, can't you, in the 60s? You can go British, you can go soft, you can go kind of
Motown.
Motown, yeah.
One and two to Barney. Wood on deck. Reds got 3 in the first.
So I guess, you know, I talked about Johnny Cueto and his unpredictability. Just saw great evidence of it there. He's got a 3-0 lead. John Baker's up there. Baker's not hit a home run this year. Throws him a 3-2 changeup. Normally you would think, well, he's just going to challenge him with a here you go, hit it if you can fastball, but it's not his game plan.
Pop fly. Right field, Jade Bruce makes the grab.
Talk a lot about hitters being greedy, you know, in certain situations, expanding the strike zone. Well, guys like Cueto are stingy. They just don't want to give in, regardless of the game situation. He's just pitching away from contact, doesn't want to give up hits, and it works for him. He's hitting 176 against him, and he can do it because he typically has command of such a wide assortment of pitches.
Bunted by Wood. Cueto will throw him out 1-4 on his sacrifice. Baker now at second with 2 gone. Chris Coughlin, who went 4 for 5 last night, will try to knock in his teammate. Lift that ERA of Johnny Cueto's. Started at 1.99 going into action today.
There'd be a little internal debate there for Ricky Renteria with Travis Wood up there as to whether to put the sacrifice on or let him swing away with 1 out in the inning. I think the fact that Coughlin has been swinging the bat so well lately help drive the decision. Let's get him over there in the scoring position and see if Coughlin could get us on the board.
Fouled that one off himself. Everything else in baseball is later tonight. This is a makeup of a rainout back on April 28th here in Cincinnati. This will be a 5-game series over the course of 4 days. One is driven into the left field corner, out of play, foul.
Entering play June 27th, Chris Coghlan was batting $193. Since then, he's gone 14 out of 35. That's 400. And coming into play today, he had raised his batting average up to 252.
He and Justin Ruggiano have gotten a lot of playing time here lately, and they've taken advantage of it. Ruggiano out of the lineup here for game 1. Likely will be in there tonight against the lefty Holmberg. Cueto does a really good job of making that fastball effective by, as you say, throwing everything else in every count. It's sneaky. That one a 93. 3-2.
Yeah, he's all over the map. He likes to. He'll take a little off, try to create movement, but he has topped out at 96 plus this year. You don't see him there very often. A lot of his starts, he'll sit 92, 93. Good run on that one. It's off the edge.
5'11", 217. 28 years old. He's from San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic.
Typically, Brian Pena catches him. This is only the 3rd time this year that Devin Mesoraco has been behind the plate for a Johnny Cueto start.
Pena just activated off the paternity list due to the birth of his daughter. Spent the last 2 days on the paternity list. Coghlan just got hit to keep the inning alive for Ryan Sweeney.
Like they're trying to throw a 2-seam comeback fastball, and it didn't come back.
So tying run at the plate here with 2 outs. 2 base runners for the Cubs today, a walk and a hit batter. And Sweeney looks at a strike. Cueto chomping on that gum. Here's his 0-1. A little high one. Sweeney offered it, that one, and couldn't get it. A couple of fastballs to start the sequence.
Cueto had a change of heart. He originally was going to throw whatever Mesoraco had asked for, and then he decided, I'm not sure I want to do that. Let's talk about it.
Oh, 2 pitch with another heater. Maybe the first time all day he's thrown 3 consecutive fastballs. Sets up a 1-2. Off the plate outside, 2-2.
Yeah, that changeup, if it stays on the plate, you're going to get more swings and misses with it. If it's fading down below the knees, the one that runs well off the outside corner, a little bit easier for a hitter to recognize that off-speed pitch and stay off of it.
Sweeney with a base hit. Baker will be stopped by Gary Jones. And now Coghlan got caught between second and third, but Mesoraco didn't know that. They're loaded for Rizzo. Coghlan assumed Baker was going to be sent.
And with 2 outs, it's usually a send situation, but the fact that that ball was hit sharply and the fact that the right fielder is Jay Bruce, that's a deal changer. He's got a cannon out there and right. You're down 3, and now you've got Rizzo coming up. But whereas 2 outs is normally a time to be aggressive, I'm on board with Gary Jones throwing up a stop sign here.
Big spot here as the Cubs try to get back in the game.
They just cannot afford to run into an out there, down 3 with Rizzo coming up.
Cueto will go back to the windup with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch there by Cueto, starting with an off-speed pitch. Rizzo has done a lot of damage on first pitches this year. 7 of his home runs have come on first pitches. He's hitting .450 when he puts the first pitch in play.
A one-hopper to second. Wow, barehanded play by Phillips as that ball took a wicked hop. Hit to the right as Rizzo broke his bat. They leave him loaded. Len and JD's baseball blog at WGNTV.com. Sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your nationwide insurance agent, serving the area for 36 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side on the blog today. 1947 All-Star Game, and I have some interesting baseball links if you would like to read some fun stuff. Some analysis of the Samardzija trade and some other baseball news. 3-0 Reds lead. 1-0 on Jay Bruce. 2 homers already in the set. How about that play by Brandon Phillips? Took a squirrely hop on him, and he had to barehand the one hopper. Barney will backpedal and get Bruce.
Barney should have fielded that one between his legs and pointed at Barney and said, "Here, take that." Every Sunday is Kids Retro Sunday at Wrigley Field, and this Sunday It's a 120 game with the Braves. If you're one of the first 5,000 kids 13 and under at the ballpark, you're going to take home that Cubs Etch-a-Sketch. This is number 6 of 10 retro toy giveaways. After the game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger will have the opportunity to run the bases. Cubs.com for tickets and information.
Career year already for Mesoraco. 15 home runs. He's an all-star. In his last 8 games against the Cubs coming in, 14 out of 28. 4 doubles, 3 homers.
And he's put those numbers up despite a couple of stints on the disabled list.
Two and 1.
Yeah, it's pretty robust.
Edwin Jackson took the loss last night. Gave up 4 runs in his 6 innings of work. Wood gave up 3 right off the bat today. A little extra pressure on the veterans. Jake Arrieta with a really good start on Sunday in Washington. And as we mentioned, a bunch of rookies coming up. Votto tonight is the 26th man, and then Beeler and Hendricks. Although I don't know, you could really call Votto a true rookie. I mean, technically he is, but 33 years old and a lot of previous experience in Japan. 1-0 on Heisey. Once again, as we look ahead, finishing up this series, Votto, Beeler, and Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks on Thursday here on WGN will make his debut. Cubs minor league pitcher of the year last year.
Well, Beeler was really good in his debut.
A lot of terrific numbers at AAA. We saw a fair amount of him in spring training as well.
Yeah, kind of a finesse left-hander, and Hendricks is a finesse guy as well. And that was, the scouting report on Beeler, but he had a little more giddy up on his fastball than I anticipated. He's throwing 92, 93 with pretty good life. Good action on his 2-seam fastball.
Ground ball through into left. Heisey's been on twice.
Yeah, he didn't really hit that one all that hard, but he squirted through just beyond the reach of Valbuena. It's not a typical day for Travis Wood when you don't see those jam shots, those neat pop-ups by right-handed hitters when he's getting that cutter in on their hands.
In the dirt on Santiago. One ball, no strikes. The pitch. Another one bounced up there. Some games you might have missed last night. Baltimore got 6 runs in the 11th inning to beat the Nationals 8-2. Chris Davis with a big home run. Manny Machado had 5 hits, a career high. He homered in that 11th. Orioles have won 7 of 8, and they lead the American League East by 3 games.
Toronto going in the opposite direction, have dropped 5 in a row. Just put Encarnacion on the DL.
Chopper to Valbuena. They get 1. They get 2. Everybody all right at second? Looks like it. Heisey and Barney both back on their feet. 3-0 Reds. That throw kind of late. Chris Heisey came barreling in. A little collision there at second base, but Cubs getting out of that inning with a double play, and they'll bat now here in the 4th against the Reds ace, Johnny Cueto.
Cueto able to work out of a bases loaded jam last inning and keep this game scoreless from his end. Allowed just the 1 base hit so far, a couple of punch outs, a walk, and a hit batsman. It's a lat strain that he dealt with much of last season. This is our first look at him this year. Cubs only faced him once last season. He's 8-6 with a 2.91 ERA in his career against the Cubs. But in his last 5 starts against the Cubs, he's 4-0 with a 1.02.
Popped up. And it's Phillips in shallow right. So strange play in New York last night. The Mets beat the Braves 4-3 in 11 innings. But earlier, now watch this. Andrelton Simmons at second base. Comes off the bag to try to turn 2. Safe at first. Out at second. Originally called the neighborhood play. Terry Collins, the Mets manager, came out and said, no, 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 no. That's not the neighborhood play. So the umpires got together and decided, you know what? TC's right. So they went to replay. You cannot review a neighborhood play. They went back, they reversed the call. Freddie Gonzalez came out, was livid, got ejected. And after the game, Major League Baseball stated the replay regulations allow umpires to determine if they considered a play to be the neighborhood play or not, based on a variety of factors. Some they consider are the throw, and if the player receiving the ball is making the turn, they might consider whether it was an errant throw, or if a player receiving a throw who is not at risk of contact made an effort to touch the bag. Now, Mike Everett said they determined the throw took him off the bag, making it reviewable. Tim Timmons said he was trying to complete the double play quicker. He was trying to gain an advantage. I don't agree with Mike Everett. I don't think the throw pulled him off the bag. But what I do think is that Simmons went to get the ball to try to get the double play, and was not trying to avoid contact.
That's how I see it too. He's like a first baseman pulling his foot because he knows if he stays there, he's probably not going to get the outplay there, and he's trying to speed up the entire play.
So the one argument is, no, it is the neighborhood play because that's how it's defined. The other argument is, okay, well, if you're allowed to not have to touch the bag, can Simmons be 12 feet in front of second base and go, wow, I was trying to avoid the contact? I mean, is 3 inches okay?
Yeah, see, for me,
we may have to continue this.
That was quick. My goodness, that was quick.
1, 2, 3. Nice. Premier seating for up to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to WrigleyvilleRooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF. We're going to make a point about the neighborhood play.
Yeah, for me, the neighborhood play is when a middle infielder is kind of straddling the bag. He's in position. He gets the throw. He's over the base. And you'll see a lot of times the guy will drag his toe, brush the base. Maybe he'll just miss it a little bit, but he's right there in the quote-unquote neighborhood. So anytime the throw either pulls him off the base or, in this instance, a middle infielder cheats a little bit to gain an advantage to go get the ball, to me that negates the neighborhood play. And the reason why it was deemed unreviewable is they just didn't want guys to get hurt. They wanted guys to be able to take that leeway. So if they're close to the base, the throw's accurate, they can go ahead and complete the double play. They don't want them kind of feeling for the bag and getting dumped into left field. So maybe just change that rule altogether. So no, you got to touch the base. Let's just play by the rule.
I think we may be there at some point, and I'm guessing. I don't know, but I'm guessing the reason they left the neighborhood play in there is because they were trying to avoid collisions at home plate, and I'm sure somebody brought up, well, wait a minute. Are we creating more collisions if we get rid of the neighborhood play at second? So they just decided let's leave it the way it is, so to speak. It's tricky, though. But a good job of arguing by Terry Collins, because you have to go out and argue that it's not the neighborhood play to even have them consider it. Wood had trouble settling in here. Gave up 3 right off the bat. Base runners in every inning. Oh, nice snag on the leap as he gets Cozart. That's a pretty good vertical right there.
Pretty good ups right there. Yeah, absolutely. And they're better athletes. That take them out in the National League? Yeah, significant airtime. Right?
Nope. Looked like it, but he didn't get it.
I'm going to review that one. Bronson Arroyo to the disabled list. He's going to have Tommy John surgery.
To the DL with a back issue, first time in his career. Now elbow reconstruction.
He's been so durable over the years, but finally caught up to him. Garrett Cole of the Pirates also headed to the DL. Right lat soreness. Had been on once before with right shoulder fatigue.
Foul tip. 3-2.
That's where the GMs earn their money, right? These teams that are in contention. How do you react to these injuries?
Actually, Arroyo did go to the DL with the elbow. I know he had back issues early this year. Strike 3 swinging. Cub fans, if you want to manage the game along with Rick Renteria, log on to WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner and connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and info while watching at home. It's sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more. WGN Sports Game Zone. Triple, single, double in Hamilton's last 3 trips to the plate going back to last night. He has been a game changer in this series, no doubt. Talking about all the Cubs prospects who play shortstop. Billy Hamilton was a shortstop, now a center fielder. He pops it up. Rizzo racing over, and he makes the grab. And a 1-2-3 for the first time for Travis Wood today. Let's take a look at the Cubs' Ford upcoming schedule while everybody dances. Game 2 tonight of this doubleheader. We mentioned the matchup, Wada and Holmberg, and then we're on WGN tomorrow night and Thursday morning. A lot of morning baseball here in July. Ford go further in any one of Ford's many fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. 1-1 on John Baker. Leadoff walk in the third. He's been in a good stretch here offensively lately after a slow start. Saw John over at the team hotel. He had his guitar in tow. He said, "When's the concert?" He said, "Between games." So that's what he'll be doing to
while away the hours.
Yep. Someone tweeted us earlier, are we going to go play around the golf between games? No, not me.
Don't have enough time.
Driven deep to left. Heisey goes back on it to the warning track. He makes a catch. Right in front of the 379. He took a couple of looks back. Baker gave it a ride, but it's just allowed out.
Ryan Lundqvist was a left fielder in last night's ball game. Heisey a better defender. Tracks that one down, takes away extra bases from Baker.
Now, Reds can play some defense. Phillips will get Barney. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Travis Wood with 2 outs. Home run cut, and he missed it. Looks like it's going to be a tight vote in the National League. Anthony Rizzo trailing only Justin Morneau. The final spot on the NL roster. Cubs.com to vote. And you can text as well. N4 to vote for Anthony Rizzo to 89269. One and two. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Cueto cruising. Got it at one jam, but that's been it. Cubs baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
I'll take the one on the left.
I'll take the one in the middle.
That was the one on the left.
Oh.
You're getting some
the yellow
separation.
boat you didn't count?
No, I didn't see it initially.
That looks like fun.
That's what we're going to do between games of the doubleheader.
Race down the Ohio. Still 3-0. The difference has been the first inning. And the Reds got 3. Mr. Redlegs. Good guy, but he's got a big head.
Yeah. Where's Rosie? She here too?
I would imagine.
There she is.
There you go.
Didn't they get married a couple of years ago?
I don't know the answer to that. They look like a good match, though, don't they?
Yeah. Distant cousins of Mr. Met.
One on the way. It's a cutter and a missed in. 2-1 on Frazier. Going to go in again, and Frazier bounces foul into the Cubs dugout.
Frazier. First full year was 2012. Hit 273 that year. Slugged 498. Had an 829 OPS. Dropped off a good bit last year. He finished with a 721 on base plus slugging.
Frazier fans, number 4 for Travis Wood.
Well, Cub fans, you have the final say. Vote for Anthony Rizzo as the final National League All-Star. Go to Cubs.com and cast your 2014 All-Star Game final vote. Voting ends at 3 p.m. Central Time on Thursday, July 10th. That man would like to go to Minneapolis, and he's asking for your vote. And he's promising to bring everybody a T-shirt back. Going to bring you a T-shirt. It says Anthony Rizzo went to the All-Star game and all I got was his lousy T-shirt. If not that, he'll give you his gratitude.
That's got to be worth a lot.
You can see it now, right? If he wins, years from now, people coming up to him, hey man, I voted for you. Well, you don't get on that final list unless you're deserving, but I think he's the most deserving. I think he probably should have been selected already. But there's a lot of guys that could make that claim. First base, always a crowded position when it comes to the All-Star game.
Curious if there has been a study done on that particular topic over the course of time, which positions seem to be the most stacked and difficult to fill and which ones are the toughest.
Well,
I mean, I would guess first base, because of the offensive production you get over there, would be
just about everybody has or not everybody, but most clubs have a guy at first base that's going to put up some pretty good numbers.
And then how do you include defense?
Study. Herbeck for years was overlooked. Right. Well, I don't know. I don't think they do, to tell you the truth. I don't think most of the voters, both the fans and the players, I don't think they put a lot of emphasis on defense.
It's almost like defense is a bonus. If you're a superstar caliber offensive player and you're good defensively, well, that's great.
I mean, I guess Ozzie Smith making all those all-star teams would be an exception.
Vizquel, although I don't know how many he made. Cut off by Valbuena. Let's see, Omar Vizquel. How many all-star teams do you think he made?
I'll go with 6.
3.
Yeah, I think because of the nature of that position has changed. Back in the day, back in the 60s and 70s, it was kind of a defense-first position. There are a lot of guys who made all-star teams that didn't put up very good numbers offensively.
One ball, no strikes on Bruce. He has provided 2 of their 3 runs with a first-inning homer. Fouled back. So they will clear the ballpark after game 1. And a new group of fans will head in for the night game tonight. Maybe some of the same fans who are in this ballpark, but they will have to have a ticket for tonight as well. The day of the 2 for the price of 1 doubleheader is pretty much gone. You'll see a small handful each year. But their makeups. I've heard this thrown out there. Would baseball at some point consider building in more off days by having teams schedule 2 or 3 day-night doubleheaders a year? So the inconvenience of having to have a pitching staff ready for 2 in 1 day versus that extra off day. It's kind of an interesting concept. As Bruce strikes out through 5, it's 3-0 Reds. game summary. Yes, we'd like you to send Anthony Rizzo to the All-Star game with Cubs.com or hashtag vote Rizzo. Jay Bruce with his second homer of the series. That happened in the first inning in support of Johnny Cueto. Start something special with great leases and low financing on a new Honda. Visit shophonda.com or visit your local Honda dealer. Two balls, no strikes on the Cubs leadoff man, Chris Coghlan. Now 2-2, Cueto back in it.
It's kind of like Juan Marichal. Marichal had a big high leg kick, but got the funky delivery and then just the unpredictability.
That ball hit a ton, and Chris Coghlan gets the Cubs on the board. Halfway up the seats in right. Home run number 3 for Coghlan, and it's 3-1.
Boys, he had a nice roll. 4 hits in the ball game last night. 400 over his last 10.
Well, he got all of it.
Leaned into that one.
Strike called on Sweeney. Change up outside. Cueto has put up 4 1-2-3 innings. Sweeney drives one to right. That baby will go 3-2. In just about the same spot in right.
Wow, that's number 1 for Ryan Sweeney. Coglan's ball was up and in a little bit. This one's down into the middle of the plate.
'21st of his career.
We have a developing story. We got a ball game.
And now your number 1 home run hitter at the plate, Anthony Rizzo, tied for second in the National League with 18. Back-to-back shots here in the 6th. Inside corner. Coghlan homer 401 feet. The Sweeney blast 414. Rizzo should go 427. Just missed.
I saw a little bit of a flinch from Mike Winters on this one from Cueto. Maybe not. I think his brain might have flinched.
95 that time.
Those home run balls have gotten his attention a little bit. It's been pretty easy for him most of the afternoon. Fought through that one little bit of a skirmish in the 3rd when he left the bases loaded. Every inning other than that had been clean prior to this one.
And he chased a bad one. That would have been ball 4. For out number 1.
most of the year. Anthony's been willing to take his walks, maybe a little anxious there, trying to do his part after the back-to-back home runs.
Strike one to Castro. 24 years old and already a three-time All-Star through 87 games going into today. Batting average 50 points higher than at the same point last year. Slugging and on base up significantly as well. Start of the day at 284. And he lines one to left. Diving attempt by Heise. Did he catch it? Boy, he was looking in there. I don't know. They called him out, but the Cubs might challenge here.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. It took him a while to find the baseball, and he just happened to find it in his glove.
Let's see.
Maybe.
Ricky's going to come out. Yeah, he did catch it. Yep.
He didn't know he had it. He looks like he hangs on to it throughout. Yeah, he looks behind him for the ball, and it's in his glove. Wow. That never happens. You never walk up on the green and look in the hole and find your ball there. Maybe it's in the hole. No, it's not, you idiot. It's over there in the bunker where it always is.
Valbuena knocked down by Cozart. He'll throw him out. They shifted and it worked out as Valbuena robbed of a hit. But the Cubs with back-to-back homers. It takes two. It's 3-2.
It's a 3:05 first pitch. Come early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Billy Williams retired number flag presented by Wrigley 5 Gum. Tickets are still available. Visit Cubs.com to reserve your seats.
Well, it's not completely a new ball game, but it's close to that. Cubs are only down a run as a breaking ball got away from Travis Wood. Back-to-back homers. Coghlan And Sweeney.
In the meantime, Travis Wood has settled in.
Zarocco lifts to right, playable for Scherholtz, drifting now over to his right to make the catch.
A ton of base runners in the first inning, a one-out double in the second. He worked out of that trouble. Got a big double play to end the third. Since then, he is not allowed a base runner, but it's taken his toll. The pitch count up at 100 now. Works here in the sixth. Because of that, Brian Schlitter's getting ready.
He fouls out of play.
He may be the most popular Red on his team. They just did a little deal on the screen here between innings. If you had to pick a roommate, who would it be? And Chris Heisey won.
But for the record, Major League Baseball players on the road do not have roommates. No. I think hockey still does it. Football probably too, right?
I don't know. Surprised that they do in the other sports. When I came up, rookies had roommates, but that has since gone away. Which leads me to one of my favorite baseball stories of all time.
Okay, let's hear it.
In the Wayback Machine, Rube Waddell, I think you've heard the name, old-time pitcher. And his roommate was a catcher by the name of Ossie Scheckengost, something like that. And back in those days, they didn't only room together, they slept together. And Rube Waddell had a habit of eating animal crackers in bed. So Ossie went to, I think Connie Mack was like the owner of the team, and he had a clause put in Rube's contract that he couldn't eat animal crackers in bed. And they put it in the contract, and Rube signed it.
So the old cliche about crackers in bed.
He would kick him out for eating crackers in bed. Kick Rube out.
I was getting a little nervous there, but good end to the story.
Now players get, they get suites. Some guys get that put in their contract that they get a suite on the road. Other perks. Back then, he just wanted a bed without crumbs.
Like the Three Stooges. It's a glove of Castro, and the flex into left as Heisey's got his second hit. 2 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, kind of a do or die type play for Castro here on the backhand side. He's trying to position himself to make the throw on the backhand side. Frustrated, but if he gets it cleanly, I don't think he's going to throw at Heisey.
Heisey runs. A pitch is a strike. The throw hits Heisey, who literally kicks it into left and heads to third.
Stolen base for Heisey, an error charge to John Baker as the throw gets into left field. These are always tough errors on the catcher. The ball sails into the base runner. Have to account for him getting to third base somehow. Reds back in a one-run game. Turn loose their base runner.
Infield in, base hit, 4-2. Ramon Santiago. And 197, 2 hits, and an RBI today. On base 3 times last night.
Jumping on that first offering from Wood.
Here comes Ricky. That looks like that'll be it for Travis Wood. 4-2 Reds. We'll be back.
Convention will take place at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers January 16th through the 18th. Room blocks are now open and can be reserved by visiting CubsConvention.com or calling 1-800-325-3535 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. All reservations at the Chicago Sheraton come with convention passes built right into your hotel package.
Here's right-hander Brian Schlitter. He's been a busy man this first half. This will be his 41st appearance. With that whip, 0.88.
Yep. He's a guy that the scouts really like to watch him because, he just, for a young guy without a lot of experience, he pitches like he's been around a while. He's very aggressive, trusts his fastball, throws a ton of fastballs. Just relies on angles and sinkage. He'll mix in the occasional slider, and once in a great while the changeup to a left-handed hitter. But you see a lot of two-seam sinking fastballs from Brian Schlitter. And boy, that one was really nasty. Travis Wood still searching for answers. Got ambushed in the first, battled, hung in there, pitched out of some jams.
Bounced foul. Ended up being a similar start numbers-wise to the one Edwin Jackson had last night. At the moment, 4 runs allowed. Well, he did not get through 6, 5 1/3 today. And the 0-2 is high. Pops out of the mid of Baker, but Santiago holding it first.
Schlitter tried to hasten his delivery home there. In so doing, kind of came out of his delivery and left that ball way up. Santiago has not stolen a base this year. He hasn't tried. He doesn't get a lot of playing time. He drifted a little bit on that one too.
Two and two, the pitch. Slowly hit chopper to Valbuena, and he just can't get it out of his glove. It was going to be a tight play at first either way. Cozart likely will be given a hit. is.
Yeah, best chance might have been to try to barehand that ball for Valbuena. Flashing the signals for the bunt defense, and he'll just give a verbal to Schlitter. Surprised to see Cueto take a whack there. When you watch Anthony Rizzo play and the way he defends the bunt, it really gets in the head of the batter.
Rizzo will pick it up. Good bunt by Cueto. So second and third for Hamilton.
Kind of the theme last night. Every time the Cubs scored, the Reds would respond. Cubs got their first run in the fifth. Reds scored 2 in the bottom of the fifth. Cubs got 2 in the seventh. Reds got 2 more in the bottom of the seventh and blew it wide open in the eighth.
Fastball missing. Ball 1 on Hamilton.
Better from this side of the plate. A switch hitter batting .290 as a left-handed hitter coming into play today. He was batting .227 from the right side.
Here's a pitch. A fly ball to center. Sweeney will get to the spot and makes the catch. The Reds add to their lead. It's now 4-2. CHN Cubs fan cam. 1966, Marvin Gaye and Kim Weston. It takes two, baby. Tweet us your Cubs selfies at hashtag WGN Cubs. We've got games tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon as well.
2. Today's game is brought to you by the number 2. Maybe after the game we'll go to Grater's and get 2 scoops of ice cream.
Okay, I'm in. I'm in. Sherholtz lofts to left where Heisey has it. Justin Grimm is up in the bullpen. That's the bullpen coach, Lester Strode, going over the scouting reports.
Cueto's been much more of a fly ball pitcher today than he normally is. A lot of outs in the air, not much on the ground. He has struck out 4. This year, Johnny Cueto became the first pitcher in Major League history, going back to 1900, to throw at least 7 innings while allowing 5 hits or fewer in each of his first 9 appearances.
Yeah, the numbers are pretty astounding. He is among the best of the best. You probably don't hear his name enough. You mentioned how good the Red starters have been. 67%. 2 out of every 3 starts have been quality starts. Only the Braves have a higher percentage of quality starts, almost 72%.
This is a good hitter's ballpark, too.
Cueto 8-6 lifetime with a .291 against the Cubs.
And through those 9 starts I referenced, the league was hitting .135 against him. He had an ERA of 1.25. Those also major league records.
He got a generous strike there to make it full 3-2. Line and over Phillips into right.
Baker continues his good work. Walk and knock, and Heisey went to the wall to take an extra base hit away from him last time up.
First start for Cueto this year against the Cubs. His last 6 outings, he's 4-0 against them with a sub-1 ERA. Strike 1 to Barney. Bounce to third. Knocked down by Santiago, but he will not have a play. Two on, and Justin Ruggiano will be the pinch hitter.
Santiago retreating to try to get a more friendly hop. Still gets eaten up a little bit by that ground ball.
Barney given an infield hit. Big spot here, trailing by 2. And Jeff Pico, the Reds pitching coach and a former Cub, will head out to the mound.
Probably twofold there, just to check in on Cueto and also to go over Justin Ruggiano, who's really been swinging well lately.
And he's got 5 straight games of at least 2 hits. And over his last 6 games, 13 hits total. Manny Parra up in the Cincinnati pen. Ball one. Well, might have hit the umpire.
Mesoraco got crossed up. That's the way Mesoraco reacts. He's expecting a breaking ball to heat her up. I think Ruggiano got a piece of it.
Yeah, it did. I wasn't sure on the first live look. That foul ball ended up hitting Mike Winters. Cueto's 1-1 is up and in. The 2-1 out into center and a base hit. Baker had to make sure it was going to get down, so the bases are loaded. Ruggiano now with a 7-game hit streak. 3 straight hits.
Yeah, really good work here by the Cubs. The solo home runs coming back to back in the 6th now. 3 base hits, and that's going to do it for Cueto. Went up and in with a fastball, tried to come back with a breaking ball, but left it right out over the heart of the plate. And the way Ruggiano's swinging it these days, pretty likely he was going to hit that one hard.
So that's it for Cueto. 4-2 Reds. We'll be back. Will face Chris Coghlan, who homered off Cueto in the 6th. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Big chance here. Did a lot of good work for the Reds last year. They've been kind of inconsistent this season, pitching to a .437 ERA, 23 hits, 11 walks, and a little over 22 innings. So there's been a lot of base runners. Big chance for Chris Coghlan.
Baker at third. Barney representing the tying run at second. Ruggiano's at first. All the singles following the Scherholtz fly to left to start the inning. There we go. Parra to Coghlan, swing and a miss on a slider.
Parra as a starting pitcher with the Brewers a few years back, through everything. Fastball, curve, slider, change, split. tightened things up a little bit since moving to the bullpen.
Gets a sign from Mesoraco. And another slider is low and outside.
The fastball up and in a little bit. Number 3 for Chris Parra this year has yielded a .275 batting average to left-handed hitters.
He jumps ahead of him 1-2.
Well placed slider there, just on the outside corner. Coughlin telling himself, keep that front shoulder in, stay through the middle of the diamond, look away, react in.
And he got him. That's a huge strikeout for Parra. Not only is it the second out of the inning, but he keeps the base runners right where they are.
The bigger breaking ball here, sharp.
Now up to Sweeney. 2 for 3 with a home run. Even Coughlin, consecutive blasts in the 6th inning. Now the 0-1. Ground ball to Phillips. And Parra gets Cueto out of the inning. Stretch time here in Cincy. Still takes 2. The Cubs down a pair. Budweiser, designated driver, and enjoy the great times. Ford, manufacturers of America's best-selling brand. Check out our best-selling lineup at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Great American Ballpark here in Cincinnati. Justin Grimm with his team trailing by 2. We'll work the 7th. Frazier, Phillips, and Bruce due up. Missed chance for the Cubs. Bases loaded, 1 out. Could not get a run.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ricky Renteria's options in that inning. You could have hit for Coughlin with one of the right-handed bats, but the way he's been swinging it. Holt and Lake and Castillo were the options. Ruggiano had already been used. And if you hit for Sweeney, they probably counter with Andrusik. But that one certainly stings, leaving the bases loaded for the 2nd time in the ball game. Justin Grimm has struggled lately. He's allowed 9 runs in his last 3 outings. That's covering 2 1/3 innings of work. His ERA ballooning from 3.03 to 4.97.
Reds pulled away from the Cubs bullpen last night. Russell and Parker gave up 5 runs combined over the 7th and the 8th innings in a Cincinnati 9-3 victory.
There's a big guy, Jumbo Diaz.
Recently making his debut after a long journey through the minors. Broken bat bouncer to Rizzo. He'll take it to the bag unassisted.
They've held Frazier in check today, 0 for 4 with a couple of punch outs, and he's been willing to go out of the strike zone all afternoon.
You see what's left of that bat.
Those are good for staking your tomato plants. Or you could turn them into a violin like that guy in Washington playing the anthem.
Right. Pretty cool. Castro backing up, but got plenty on the throw to get Phillips. Usually a little dangerous to back up on that particular ball, but he played it cleanly. 2 down.
Yeah, and hit sharply enough where he had time once he retreated under the outfield grass to still sling it across the diamond and get Phillips.
Reds lineup for game 2 is already out. Been tweeted by multiple sources, and they have Jay Bruce at first base for the game tonight. Made his pro debut there last night. Did make an error leading to an unearned run, and had a big offensive game. Somebody tweeted me last night that should have been a hit. I said no, that's a play a big league first baseman should make. He said yeah, but he's not a big league first baseman. That's a tougher chance for him. There shouldn't be an error.
Yeah.
It's not quite how it works at this level.
That would be an interesting defense, wouldn't it? You can't charge me with an error because I'm just not good enough to make that play. Well, with the lefty schedule on the mound tonight, they may feel like there's going to be more action over at third base, and they want Frazier there.
Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, swing and a miss. Grimm with a 1-2-3. We go to the 8th, still 4-2 Reds.
Reds 4, Cubs 2 as we head to the top half of the 8th. Manny Parra, who did a really nice job getting Johnny Cueto off the hook in the 7th, remains on the mound for the Reds. That's because Anthony Rizzo is due to bat. We'll see how Brian Price reacts should Rizzo reach. Andrusik was up earlier. Maybe he'll get the call. Aroldis Chapman will be the guy who gets the ball in the 9th in all likelihood. Anthony Rizzo would like to go to the All-Star game in Minneapolis. He would appreciate your vote.
A lot of strikes from Parra. Six out of 7, in fact. Out in front, and he yanked it foul.
Nice play.
Obviously, quality strike's the most important thing, but when you come out of the bullpen, the last thing a manager wants is for you to walk people. And that has been an issue at times in Parra's career. Really nice play. And Fan brought his glove.
Didn't even leave his seat. Cools a cucumber there. Tough day for Rizzo so far. Grounded out in the 3rd with the bases loaded to end that threat. His other 2 at-bats have ended in swinging strikeouts. He's only walked twice in the last 16 ball games. Maybe trying to force things a little bit here recently. Walk works just fine here. You're down 2. Got Castro on deck. Good job.
All 4. That'll be it for Parra.
Oh, it's Jumbo. I tried to Andrusik was earlier. Now that shot of Jumbo up last inning. It looks like he'll get the call.
Jumbo Diaz coming on when we return. Interesting story. Made his debut earlier this season after 12 years in the minors. Lost a bunch of weight over the winter. He went from 347 to 278. Changed his diet. Lost almost 70 pounds.
Yeah. Still a big guy. So he still merits the nickname Jumbo. He made his debut against Toronto back on June 20th. We saw him at Wrigley in his second big league appearance. He hasn't pitched that frequently. He's only been out there 5 times. .97-mile-an-hour fastball plus slider and a changeup.
So Broxton 3 out of 4 not being used in this spot here in the 8th. Castro takes a fastball at 96. It's a strike. Rizzo at first, nobody out. Popped him up. Caught by Cozart. 1 away. It's been a nice afternoon. Again, avoiding the rain for now. That's the good news. Josh Beckett with a hip injury goes to the DL. Ricky Nolasco, the Twins, right elbow sprain. Justin Masterson, Indians, right knee. Dropping like flies, all these starting pitchers. You mentioned Garrett Cole. Bronson Arroyo. The pitch. Pulled foul.
He's ready for that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Much you can do with that one.
Now his real name's not Jumbo, actually Jose, but he was in the Dodger organization. He had a teammate named Jose Diaz. People needed an alternative for one of the guys, so they started to call him Jumbo, and he kept it. I remember seeing him this spring and thinking, this guy's never pitched in the big leagues. He was firing bullets. There's a good slider at 88. It's Neil Ramirez up in the Cubs bullpen. As 1-1 to Sherholtz is hit foul. 99 on the gun that time. But a lot of guys named Jumbo who played in the majors, but it's been a while since it last happened. Jumbo Brown back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Jumbo Elliott, Jumbo Latham, Jumbo Harding, but now we're going back into the late 1800s.
Yeah, there were a lot of Jumbos and Rubes back in the day.
There it is. Sherholtz held.
Red's trying to sell it. Diaz starting to work his way to the dugout.
Mesoraco deciding to tag first and ask questions later.
A 3 through 6 in the Cubs lineup today. Held hitless. Rizzo's walk here in this inning, the only reach.
3-2 as Rizzo goes, and it's tapped foul. Another payoff delivery, and Sherholtz missed it. Mesoraco will fire to first in time. The ball got away from him, but he was able to pounce on it and get Sherholtz. As the Reds will bat here in the last of the 8th inning, leading the Cubs 4-2. 3 of their runs came in the opening frame. Hard-throwing righty Neil Ramirez is on.
Schlitter solid. Grimm with a scoreless inning, and now Neil Ramirez trots out of the Cubs bullpen for the 27th time. He's picked up 3 saves along the way. He's pitched to a 1.19 ERA. Mesoraco, Heisey, Santiago due for the Reds here in the home 8th.
Left-handers tonight. So Yoshi Wada for the Cubs in his big league debut. David Holmberg in his Cincinnati debut. And Dallas Beeler tomorrow. Kyle Hendricks makes his MLB debut on Thursday. We'll have Wednesday and Thursday's games right here on WGN Sports. Cubs offense has a date with Aroldis Chapman in the ninth, so you don't want to be down more than 2. Swing and a miss by Mesoraco.
Ramirez attacking with that fastball. That's a pitch that Mesoraco has hammered this year, but Ramirez able to slip it by him at 96. And now 97 elevated. Mesoraco coming into this ball game had hit a home run every 12.5 at bats. That was the best ratio in the National League.
One and two on the All-Star. Mesoraco, Heisey on deck. Pitch by Ramirez. Ground ball to first. Rizzo will scoop. Ramirez covering. Heisey's had a good one. A walk, 2 singles, a steal, a run, and a diving catch in left. So he didn't know he had caught.
Yeah, he made another pretty good play on Baker, too, retreating to the warning track to take away a potential extra base hit.
Ramirez hitting 97, but out of the zone. Ball 1. First place Brewers lost last night to the Phillies. So Milwaukee has dropped 6 of 7 going into action tonight. 4-game lead over the Cardinals in this NL Central. Matt Adams with the game-ending 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th.
How many does he have now?
I don't know, but
he started to hit
2-0 the final. He has 10 on the year. Hitting .331.
Hits the ball hard, that kid. What, I call him Big City?
Yep. Soft liner, and it eludes Castro. Well, Heisey's 3rd hit.
Really able to get a lot of air there with that jump.
How about the Angels? They've won 11 in a row at home. One off the club record set in 1967. 16 over 500 for the first time since the end of the 2012 season. And Jared Weaver had to leave the game against Toronto last night early with lower back tightness, but they won 5-2.
won 5 in a row, 8 out of 10. Hard to gain a lot of ground because Oakland's playing really well.
They've won 5 in a row.
Seattle as well.
Seattle beat Minnesota last night 2-0. First place matchup in Detroit tonight. Dodgers and the Tigers. Ryu and Verlander. One. Right field corner. Eyes it at third. Steve Smith says, come on home. Relay throw there. He is out at the plate. Sherholtz to Barney to Baker.
Wow, what a relay. Short hop pick by Barney, and then gets off a great throw home. It's starting the right field corner. Sherholtz quickly on it, and then Barney with the relay home. Perfect one-hop throw to Baker, who applies the tag.
No argument from the Reds dugout. So Santiago's at second after his third hit of the day. It's still a 4-2 ball game, and now Cozart.
Gonna have to issue a code red on Santiago.
Rizzo makes a catch, and we will go to the ninth. It's the Reds 4 and the Cubs 2. Avoid losing their fourth in a row after starting this long road trip with 4 consecutive wins. And it will not be easy against now a 3-time All-Star, Aroldis Chapman.
17 saves and 19 tries for Chapman. He's lost a couple of ball games. No wins, a 2.55 ERA. High octane gas. 100 miles per hour plus from Chapman. 47 strikeouts and a little over 24 innings of work. So a strikeout rate of better than 50%.
Junior Lake is going to bat for John Baker to start things here in the ninth.
This is interesting. Junior Lake, his strikeout rate is as high as anybody in the game, but most of those come on breaking balls that are down. And there it's just a matter of catching up to the fastball of Chapman.
And the bunt is always a possibility, as he occasionally likes to try to bunt for a hit. He's 0 for his last 20 as he steps in.
Average fastball, this is according to Fangraphs for Chapman this year, average fastball is 100 miles an hour. He's throwing his slider more often, and he's also mixing in some changeups.
Well, that's at 99. We saw Diaz hit 99. Didn't Ramirez hit 98? I mean, this is the land of the hard throwers. Major League Baseball now. At the back end of bullpens all over the league.
There's a devastating slider. And that's why, you know, so many games kind of slow to a crawl late, because you got these dominant arms out there, and for the most part it's deep counts, a lot of strikeouts, a few walks, and not a whole lot of action. Putting the ball club together, I guess I'd be on the lookout for some bench players who can handle velocity.
Yep, and a ground ball into center. Snaps an 0 for 20. With 2 strikes on him, no less.
Changeup, I believe. One to fastball. It was only 90. And a slider. Up a little bit. Good AB for Junior. And 1 out of 8 against the hard throwing lefty.
It's Castillo now on deck in the pitcher's spot. Quite a comeback for Chapman. Remember, in the middle of March, suffered a concussion, facial fractures, took a liner off the bat of Kansas City's Salvador Perez in a spring training game. Pitch was 99 miles an hour. Came off the bat probably harder than that. Missed the first 35 games this season. And the 0-1, Barney pops it up. Santiago from third. 1 away.
Chapman's been nursing a little bit of a sore hamstring, has not been out there that much lately.
He's from Cuba. He got to meet his daughter this past winter for the first time. He defected in 2009 before she was born. Ball 1 on Castillo. '09. He defected from Cuba before a tournament in the Netherlands. Established residence in the Principality of Andorra, 6th smallest country in Europe, in the eastern Pyrenees Mountains, near Spain and France. Story goes that before he signed with Cincinnati, he knew very little about the major leagues. Never had watched a game on TV, had to look at a map to see where all the teams played. He got a 6-year deal worth $30 million plus to sign with the Reds. Major League debut, he hit 102 on the stadium gun, 103 on the game tracker and MLB.com. 1-2 on Castillo. Lake the runner at first. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 down.
Off-speed pitch there. And much more of a pitcher these days. Mixing in some sliders and changeups with that triple-digit fastball. It's like a backdoor slider.
Mike Alt now for Chris Coghlan. Rick Renteria emptying his bench.
Well, they got a puncher's chance here.
Yep.
Mike Alt with 11 home runs. He can get on a fastball.
We've seen Lake, Castillo, and Alt here in the 9th inning.
If you continue to throw that for strikes, you have almost no chance. You've got to be ready to hit the fastball.
Is low. Red's not worried about Lake. Tying runs at the plate. Still hasn't thrown him a fastball. 2-1. Sliders and changeups so far to Alt.
Yeah, this is interesting. They just decided that Alt is capable of turning around a fastball, and they're just not going to give him one, even if they ultimately walk him. The left-handed hitting Ryan Sweeney on deck.
Chapman's 2-2 is high. Fastball at 100.
Let's see if he's willing to chase a high fastball. Now let's see if they come back with that slider. Not likely to get hurt if he can throw 100 miles an hour down and away.
Ball 4. Well, what a patient at bat by Michael.
You talk about a tentative approach by the Reds. Understandable with the lefty on deck. Bench has been emptied for the Cubs. They don't have another right-handed bat available.
Holt did not offer it anything in that plate appearance. And draws the walk, keeps the line moving.
This was after Chris Coghlan went deep. Ryan Sweeney jumps on one. His first of the year.
It was off Johnny Cueto. And would stand to get the win. And Sweeney trying to spoil the party here. First and second, 2 outs. Mesoraco giving his infielders the signs.
In his career, Chapman has faced 234 left-handed batters and allowed 1 home run.
The pitch. It's a strike. All right, you know this is a tough matchup. You assume Chapman's going to take away Sweeney's slugging. Frazier playing way behind Alt. Would you consider trying to have the guys run here to get 2 in scoring position, and then a flare could tie it?
Yeah, I would. I would certainly consider it.
The pitch. 1-1. I mean, Alt at first, if you could get him to second, that could be significant.
Right, and you know, if you had more experienced base runners out there, you know, trusted Junior Lake's instincts. Maybe you kind of give him some kind of a sign. Hey, you know, if you feel it, if you see it, you can get a big enough jump, go for it. I mean, you get in there in the ninth inning against guys like Chapman. It's so hard to string hits together. For me, it's a time to take a gamble.
I agree with you. 1-2 on Sweeney. Battle time now for the Cubs. Left-handed hitting outfielder. Swing and a miss to end the ball game. Chapman gets the save. Jay Bruce with the big first inning homer, and the Reds take game 1 today, 4-2 the final.